Yo, what is up, everybody? Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk podcast, coming at you with another unscripted sportscast edition here, guys. Flying solo today. Again, man, after the NFL season, it's a little the schedules get a little crossed up here, man. But your boy had to get this podcast in, and even though it was on a different kind of date, not on the usual Monday or Wednesday, but I am heading over to Vegas next week, man. I got a work conference to go to and real busy trying to catch up and get ready for that kind of stuff with family life and all that. But uh, in lieu of our New York Knicks, right there, baby, the New York Knicks beating the Philadelphia 76ers 4 games to 2. Knicks in 6, moving on to the next round to face the Pacers. Wow, an unbelievable series between the Knicks and the 76ers. The best playoff series of round one overall, whether it's the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference, it doesn't matter. This series had it all, man. The Knicks came to play, had the biggest heart. That's why they won. No pun intended. They battled every single game in this series. The 76ers and the Knicks gave it their all. Love the fact it was such a battle, man. I mean, no lead was safe. Last night was proving, as you saw in game 5, where the Knicks had a 6-point lead with 48 seconds left. Maxey went off. That 4-point play. The 76ers still in the Gardens. Last night, the Knicks went ham, coming off to a huge start and getting like a 22-point lead and, again, diminish. 76ers came back, and it was a typical, just like this series, back and forth action all the way to the last minutes. And look, bottom line, the Knicks were the better team, no doubt about it. That's the reason we're the number 2 seed. The Bucks were eliminated last night by the Pacers. Even with Giannis, man, I think the Bucks were not going to be as good. But this series was all about the emergence of Jalen Brunson. All right, Jalen Brunson finished the series with 3 straight 40-point games. First Knick, I believe, ever to have over 40 plus points. All right, and 11 and over 10 assists in the postseason. He had himself probably the greatest postseason run by a Knick player in the history of the franchise. It is what it is. Last night, 39 points. All right, 13 assists. I'm sorry, I meant 35 plus points. And he did it all, man. He did it all. Clutch, the closer. His name is Jalen Brunson, the closer, because when it matters the most, this kid just comes to play. All around game. Again, unsung heroes here. Look, huge game by Hartenstein. 14 points. Hartenstein is the better offensive player in comparison to Mr. Mitchell Robinson. I get it, right? Mitchell is probably the better defender, and you needed that against Embiid. But Embiid just scores, man. It doesn't matter who they put against him, right? It doesn't matter. I mean, Embiid last night had a monster game. Embiid last night had, if you look at it, let me move this back here. I think Embiid last night had 50 points. I'm sorry, 50 points. He had 30 on game 4. 50 freaking points last night. He was unguardable. Doesn't matter who you put on him. You just needed to put the guy that can actually make him work on defense. And that was Hartenstein. OG Anunoby, great trade. I wasn't a fan at the beginning because we lost a lot of offense, but man, was I wrong. Just a guy, 17 points, hit 3 out of 4 3-pointers, big shots. Not just that, man. This guy had a steal, a block. Apart from the timely 3-pointers, he's the guy playing defense, switching off on the small wing, on the 4, on the 5, on the guard. He's such a great two-way player, man. Such a great two-way player that he is one of the reasons why the Knicks were so successful in this playoff series. Regardless of the numbers, still average over 14 points a game. But it's just everything that he does, man. His presence on the court on both sides of the ball. That's awesome. That's awesome. We haven't had that kind of player in a very long time. A two-way player that can score but also play defense. Josh Hart, again, all around Josh Hart, the biggest heart in the league, baby. Had himself 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, just doing all the little things, all the actual, all the stuff, talking about all the hustle play, everything that they needed to do. I am looking at the wrong stats here. My bad. I apologize, people. I am looking at the wrong stats here. This is the score from game 4. I apologize. But anyway, again, Hartenstein is the guy that gave you all the that gives you all the little things, right? He is the guy that, let me go back here to Thursday. A second. I apologize. Here we go. Sorry. Yeah, no, I mean, Anobi had 19 points. I apologize. And Brunson had 41. But that's the kind of guy he does, man. Anobi had the huge game, 9 rebounds, 2 block shots, 2 steals. It's kind of stuff he did, man. It's what he does, man. Josh Hart, 16 points, 14 boards. All right. Taking it for a 3-point win. DiVincenzo, after game 2, disappeared in the series and finally had a huge game. Hit 5 out of 9 3-pointers. Started like a house of fire with, like, hitting the first 4 threes in the first quarter when they got up to the big lead. That's what we have, man. Hartenstein, 14 points, 30 minutes, positive points. Again, look, Embiid is the man. 39 points. Tyrese Maxey finally cooled off. And Tobias Harris never showed up, and neither did Kyle Lowry. A lot of that had to do the defense from OG Anunoby. All right. The great locking down of Josh Hart. And let me tell you something, DiVincenzo has some key defensive plays in this series, all right, that helped the Knicks shut down Tyrese Maxey. We are looking at a complete team when it comes to the Knicks, all right? We have a lot of hustle. Thibodeau actually did a good job in certain plays and did not fuck it up, all right, unlike Darvin Ham from the Lakers. He's out, by the way. So it's a complete kind of like, you got, it's 1 through 5. Now, Jalen Brunson has absolutely emerged as the go-to guy, and of course, as he should. And how far as Brunson takes you is how far the Knicks are going to go. When it comes to the postseason, and I've said this over and over again, it's a new season. But the player, I'm sorry, let me go back. The team that has the player that comes up and has these astronomical, out of this world games like Jalen Brunson had in the last 3 games is the team that usually gets the furthest in the postseason. All right. In today's NBA, you got to have a number 2. I don't think the Knicks have a solid number 2. Randall is hurt, but OG Anunoby is that guy that could be that number 2 for Jalen Brunson, because he can not only just score, but he is that two-way player that's going to clamp down the best defenders. Again, big story last night. All right. Anunoby was the reason why Kyle Lowry had 0 points, and so did Tobias Harris. All right. Anunoby was that huge of a factor. Maxey was held to 17 points, and there were some clutch plays there at the end. All right, at the end. The reason why the game was close is because Buddy Hield, who's been missing in action, all right, behind the milk carton. There's been this picture behind the milk carton for the playoffs. In 21 minutes, had 20 points. All right, he went 6 for 9 from beyond the arc. All right, Nicholas Batum has been pretty solid. In 28 minutes, has 16 points. They've replaced the numbers where Harris and Kyle Lowry were non-existent. But a lot of had to do the Knicks team defense. Don't hate on that, bro. Let's not hate on that. Shout out to the Knicks. Listen, I think right now Jalen Brunson has had the greatest postseason series of any Knick. I know it's premature, but no Knick has ever put those 3 types of games in the postseason like Jalen Brunson has had in the last 3 games. Come at me. And I'm long time Knicks fan. I mean, I've been watching the Knicks since the early 90s, and I've experienced the highs and the lows. Let me tell you something, bro. Jalen Brunson has just erased any bad memory the Knicks have had from Carmelo Anthony. The years of Carmelo Anthony, not Carmelo Anthony itself. He plays hard. He played hard for the Knicks. Just the Carmelo years when the Knicks were so mid. It's not even funny. I get it. I'm not getting ahead of myself because I know last year we beat the Cavs. All right. And we just got killed by the Miami Heat in the second round. Guess what? We're not playing the Miami Heat in the second round. And if we did, we'd probably slap them around. All right. Because I'm not the same hit team that they were from last year. And this year's Knicks team would have beaten last year's Miami Heat team. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. OG Anunoby is that guy that makes that difference maker in shutting down the best player for the other team. All right. So here we go. Again, shout out to Jalen Brunson and the new Knick, the closer. All right. That dude is the man. He shut my ass up. I was one of those guys. Go back to Mark. I'm not afraid to say that I was wrong. I was wrong about him. But next, what's next for the Knicks, baby? We are Sunday. The Knicks play the Indiana Pacers. It's a Sunday. Let me see. Actually, is on Saturday. Tomorrow. Nope. What does the series start? When does the series start? Is it Saturday? I mean, the Knicks play the Knicks are going to start the series against the Indiana Pacers. It has to be on Sunday. No, it's actually on Monday. Holy crap! I thought it was going to be on Sunday. But anyway, let's see. May 6th, Monday, May 6th. Knicks and Pacers, game 1. And here's the thing: the Pacers are a really good team, but they beat, rightfully so, a Giannis-less Bucks with a banged up Damian Lillard. All right. I did not when what's his name went out, I kind of thought this was going to be a done deal. I think a lot of people knew that the Bucks did not have anything for the Pacers. Spread right now is New York favorite for 6.5. I like that. I like the spreads are something that has to do with 7 points. That's the most common score in spreads out there. But the Knicks, I think, match up better against the Pacers than they did against the 76ers. I'm going to tell you why. Because Brunson matchups well against Halliburton, who's not a good defender. They don't have a big center in the middle. That's going to be a catalyst. Siakam is going to go against OG Anunoby. All right. 2 guys that play together in that championship team of the Toronto Raptors. They're homies. Great storyline. I think those 2 are going to cancel each other out. I don't think the Pacers have an answer for Halliburton. And the fact of the hustleness of Josh Hart, who's going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's going to be pivotal. Miles Turner is an up and down kind of player. He has his moments. He's streaky, not consistent, but he had a good game against the Bucks. However, the Knicks are going to handle business. I am going to call this series against the Pacers another 6-game series in favor of the Knicks, who should be and are the favorites. All right, as number 2 seed. I think the Knicks, like myself, I was worried against 76ers because, here we go. Now you got Embiid health, coming in. Maybe not healthy, but it's a full team. And usually this is what it was a perfect scenarios for the Knicks to sink. But man, big heart, big dogs, big balls. And right now the momentum is running high. The Knicks is a team that don't have a give up makeup this season. That's the motto this year. And I believe the Knicks are going to take care of the Pacers in 6. Yo, it is what it is, man. I don't, honestly, let's look at the matchup to matchup here, man. I mean, look, Miles Turner, we got answers for Miles Turner. All right. Hartenstein can do a lot of different things. I mean, Hartenstein can definitely D-up Miles Turner. Mitchell Robinson. All right, I get it. Halliburton is nasty, but guess what, dude? He's going to have a hard time trying to maintain Jalen Brunson. All right, Siakam is a hell of a player, who was a great trade for them. But I honestly think that they are also going to OG Anunoby knows him. They played each other at practice a lot of the times, and there's going to be I think that's going to be a good matchup. Josh Hart is a good defender. All right, McBride off the bench. This is where the actual kind of chess match takes into place, right? The benches. I think both teams have really, really good benches. They do. They have excellent benches. All right. You have TJ McConnell, who had a huge game closing out the Bucks. All right. You have whatchamacallit is the other guy Who comes off the bench? Is Obi Toppin, former Nick. I mean, look, we got some storylines here, man. Obi Toppin, former Knicks, who was another good guy coming off the bench. So, like just like the Knicks, Trey McBride, all right, coming to the bench. Mitchell. Uh, I got a lot of different players. I think this is where the difference maker should be. Whoever team's bench I think performs the best is the team that's going to win this series. And I think the Knicks have more offensive pop off the bench. All right, McBride has some huge shots in this series. McBride is that dude, man. He is going to be a player in this league for a very long time. He is that guy. All right, he's that guy that can hit clutch threes, and he hit some threes against 76ers, man, that were just completely killing runs and setting the pace. So Knicks in 6. Come at me. Hit me in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Another game that's going to start on Monday or Sunday, whatever the case may be. I think it's Sunday of game 1, but it's the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. And I want to give you my take on this. I get it. Look, the Timberwolves had a hell of a year. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, has become the darling now, getting a lot of props by people. All right, cool. I get it, man. He's exciting. He's a very, very fun player to watch, man. He plays above the rim, can score, mid-range, handles, right? Karl Anthony Towns came back in this series, and he's still trying to get his legs under him. But they went ahead and they beat a team in the Suns that we knew they were not going to go very far. And we got to touch the Suns in a minute before I jump on. But Nikola Jokic, we know what he could do. Jamal Murray, who single-handedly owns and made the Lakers their bitch by having 2 clutch game-winning shots, unguardable. It's going to be way too much for the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have been a good story. They are the team of the future, but the Nuggets are going to hand them in probably 5 games as well, just like they did the Lakers. 5, maybe 6, right? I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Nuggets in 6 against the Timberwolves. That's my prediction. I think the Nuggets are way too deep. Nuggets got the experience, and they will be able to do a better job on Anthony Edwards than the 76ers actually did. Now, going back to the 76ers, guys. Is it me, guys, or everyone, or the actual Suns, the legacy of Kevin Durant is sinking. It's becoming non-existent. They got swept, man. They got freaking swept by the Wolves. Kevin Durant played his ass off. He played his ass off, no doubt about it. He went ahead and he did not give up. I get it. He played really well. Let's give credit where credit is due. But it's one of those things then that hasn't been very good for him after he has left the Golden State Warriors. One Eastern Conference final. I know they were shot away against the Bucks. But then disaster with the Nets, disaster last year with the Suns, and another disaster this year. I mean, if anybody thought the Suns were actually going to I thought they were going to put a better fight. I thought there could be that team that could kind of be like, well, I think they got them right. They should be able to actually give the Timberwolves, who are young and inexperienced, a little bit of a war here, right? A little bit of a battle. But man, it was a complete domination by the Timberwolves. It wasn't Kevin Durant's fault. I think it's the way this team is made up. Do you understand, man? The Phoenix Suns play the whole year without a freaking true point guard. Booker was your point guard most of the time. Yep. Remember, they traded a bunch of pieces for Bradley Beal, who sucked all year long, injured, and you saw he is not the same guy, that Bradley Beal that everybody fell in love with during his MVP form a couple of years ago. No debt whatsoever, and you cannot win in this league without a point guard that sets things up for your teammates. And that's exactly what the Phoenix Suns did not have. Not the only reason they lost. They just were not a deep team. Not a deep team. And the Timberwolves are. All right. Nas Reed, one of the 6 men of the year candidates. All right. Jaden McDaniels. These are all role players coming off for the Wolves that made a difference in this series. All right. Even in the close games. But I honestly think that Kevin Durant's legacy right now is at a crossroads. It's a complete crossroads right now. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. I mean, Weber, that is undebatable, right? That is like completely, you don't have to. That's like come and gone. It's not debatable at all. He is a Hall of Famer and probably top 10 and one of the greatest scorers of all time. But the fact that now he was a guy that left the team that he was drafted with, who made it to the final and lost to the Heat, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, a lot of guys in that team that I think, they could have given it another shot and decided to go to the Golden State Warriors and then have an awesome run. But in his head, we all know that Kevin Durant is very sensitive and has a big ego and said to himself, fuck it. I am going to go pursue my own rings without Steph and Clay and Draymond. So these people can be quiet and shut the hell up about me winning rings because I am playing with Steph Curry, the greatest shooting guard of all time. The grass, folks, is never greener on the other side. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The grass is not always greener on the other side, folks. And so far, the grass that Kevin Durant has did leave from, that's the grass that's called the Golden State Warrior that Kevin Durant left and went to grass number 1 in the Nets. That was really bad grass, bro. There was a lot of weeds there. No success. Then he comes to the Sun in a blockbuster trade. And he's finding that the same weeds are in that same grass, backyard, front lawn, and true green is not helping. Unreal. They got swept. They got absolutely swept. Let me pause here for a second. We got some comments. Oh, Durant should on us. There we go. Let's go ahead and what up, Jim? My boy Jim, my other half from Cigars and Sports. Durant should honestly end it in OKC. That's not, take a pay cut. Absolutely take a freaking pay cut and go to OKC with this team. Lakers need to do away with Westbrook, Mazda emblem on unibrow and LeBron and rebuild the Suns. Or what they were. They traded for Durant. They lost their depth. It's true. Absolutely true. Absolutely freaking true, man. Look, I think they are in the position next year now through free agency and the draft to fill some voids here. But, man, they need a point guard so bad. It's not even funny. They need more than just a point guard. They have a lot of things missing in the Suns team. It is a very heavy and loaded Western Conference, okay? It's not easy. I mean, your 5th seed can beat your 3rd and 4th seed or your 5th or your 2nd seed, all right, in the Mavericks. It's a loaded conference, man, and they need more than just Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is going to go down as probably one of the worst trades in the history of the NBA. I'm telling you, that's going to be one of the worst trades from a value standpoint in the history of the NBA when it's all said and done. It's not looking pretty for Bradley Beal and the Suns. And talking about not looking pretty, of course, LeBron James decides to claim another victim. Who's that? Well, it's Darvin Ham, who after 2 seasons won Western Conference final. They met the same team. They got swept the Western Conference final in the first round and lost to them 4-1. And they decided to clip the axe. We knew that was coming, right? We knew it was coming. And nobody should be surprised. This is what the Lakers... I'm sorry. This is what LeBron does, guys. There's only been, I think, 1 coach or 2 coaches that he's gone after. I think only 1 coach ever that he hasn't been able to fire. That name of that coach is Eric Spoelstra. Why? Because Eric Spoelstra had backup from the greatest GM, VP, and one of the greatest coaches of all time, and Pat Riley. Because it was a culture and it was a organization that doesn't let the players tell the actual owners what to do, or you know, or have the players step out of line and kind of get out of the line of what they're supposed to be doing, which is putting the ball in the basket and executing on the court. So look, everybody's blaming Darvin Ham. Of course, he's another scapegoat. All right, just like the Suns coach. I forget his name. The young guy. He played for them and he got fired after winning a championship. He's fired. Oh my God, I can't even think. He's fired so many people. I can't remember the names, but LeBron has gotten so many people fired. It's not even funny. And right now, here's the problem: the Lakers organization are a bunch of heartless, gutless cowards. Right? I'm not defending Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham again was a rookie coach. He's got to get a job somewhere else. He deserves another shot because when you have this kind of success early on in your career, you don't deserve to get fired. However, this is the world we live in when LeBron James is your player. And again, the organization are complete gutless pieces of shit because, look, it is time for them to say, LeBron, we pay you to put the ball in the basket and follow instructions, not for you to influence who the hell do we pick. It's not the coach's fault who they actually sign in free agency. That's the GM's. That's the league owner. That's the team's owner. And of course, in this case scenario, don't tell me that LeBron doesn't have an influence. He influenced who they trade for. He influenced who they sign for. And you know what? Most of these guys are all part of his agency, quote unquote, Clutch Sports, who, he's not an owner on paper, but he is the owner. So let me shout out here. Here we go. LeBron will and always throw a coach under the bus. Have the team trade away pieces that do work, guys who don't work, but that's a GOAT. To some, yeah, right? MJ did that, and he's a true GOAT. So MJ would never do, put it that way. MJ would never do that kind of shit. He never did. He didn't need to. He doesn't need to prove his legacy over and over again like LeBron is trying because he's always going to be number two. But yeah, look, Darvin Ham, to his defense, it's not his fault 100%, man. That team was built a certain way, and it was built to not be successful. And yeah, I get it. Look, if the Lakers would have played a little bit better and they would have finished like the 6th seed, hopefully they probably beat the Wolves. But that's not the way the cards played out. They ended up, guess what? Playing the defending champs, who are a pretty good darn team. The defending champs with Jamal Murray, who owns the fucking Lakers. I mean, Jamal Murray has to get a little tattoo that says the Lakers are my bitch, because they are. And of course, probably, the back-to-back MVP and Jokic probably going to get another MVP this year. I mean, yeah, tough luck, but it's not Darvin Ham's fault. They, constructed a team based on influences by one of your players. And now LeBron's was a 3-year contract with a bunch of money. So he can end up his career in the Lakers playing next to Bronny, which I'm going to tell you right now, they will draft Bronny James. They will draft Bronny James, whether he plays most of the season in the G League, and then he comes up for at least a 10-day contract so he can play with his pops. They will drop Bronny James because it's the LeBron James Laker, okay? Not the owner. All right, I forget the name of the girl. Oh my gosh, I am missing names today. So that's what it is. What it is, man. LeBron claims another victim. Darvin Ham is gone with the Lakers. Nothing, no surprise here. And please just stop saying that it's not LeBron's influence, because it is. A lot of it is LeBron's. Every single coach firing in LeBron's career has been a huge influence from LeBron James. That's just the way it works in the LeBron world. Not the GOAT. LeBron, the GM, all right, the coach, whatever you want to call him. So I feel bad for Darvin Ham, but I hope he gets a job somewhere else. He will. He will absolutely get another job. Woo, oh man. I forgot the name of the coach where they won. He's actually the Suns coach right now. He also got fired after a couple of seasons. I mean, I don't even know how many coaches. We had Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue. I mean, how many coaches has LeBron had in the Lakers already? 3? This should be the 3rd coach, right? This will be the third coach, I think, in his stint with the Lakers. Nuts. Wild. I mean, what happened? The same thing with the Lakers. Not the Lakers, the Cavaliers. I mean, he had a carousel of coaches. Miami's the only team that didn't book and buy his bullshit. Miami, the Heat organization, were the only organization that told LeBron, no, dude, you work for me. I don't work for you. And I guess it's one of the reasons why he also left Miami. I mean, he got his both 2 championships, 4 NBA finals. He said, fuck, I cannot do this for another, 10 years because I cannot put up with an organization, most likely, that's going to tell me what to do. I'm LeBron James. I'll tell them what to do. Come at me. Come at me if you don't honestly think LeBron did not have anything to do with this, because he did. He always has something to do with a coach getting whacked. It's like LeBron's career is like the Sopranos, right? At the end of every season, somebody gets clipped. Somebody gets whacked by the hand of Tony or the mob or whatever the case may be. That's the LeBron James career. At the end of a season or other season, a coach is getting clipped. All right. And they're go ahead and they're burying him in a swamp somewhere in Jersey, or dumping him in the ocean, right, with some cinder block feet, shoes. Shout out to the Sopranos. Hell of a show. All right, guys. Wanted to jump on, keep it short, but definitely come on and talk about my Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks again. Knicks did it in 6. Great to be a Knicks fan again. I'm always been a Knicks fan, but great to have the Knicks being successful. I know we're doing the same thing we did last year. We got to get past the second round, but this is a huge test against a better team than the Cleveland Cavaliers that we did last year. I think it's really awesome. And we're going to go take the Pacers in 6 as well. And before I leave, let me read one more comment. All right. If people really think LeBron James ain't got an influence, you are mistaken. LeBron is the Tony Soprano of the NBA. Absolutely, buddy. I agree with my man Jim 100%, buddy. Hey, anyone who didn't watch last week's Cigars and Sports, go ahead and check it out. Go to the archives, Cigars and Sports. Last week we had a banger. An NBA draft special. We did some live draft reactions to the second round. We had our boy Garrett on the show as well. So that's it. That's what I got today. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. If you go to the platforms, I got to upload the latest episodes. And again, your boy E-Man from The Average Joe Sports Talk podcast signing out. Peace.